Hi guys, Lexie Smith here. I'm the founder of THEPRBAR Inc. and the host of the Pitchin and Sippin Podcast. And today I want to talk about probably, if not the most important thing you should be doing in 2021 to have an effective PR strategy. I'm then going to give you 4 different ways that you can do this. So I would go out on a limb and say that probably no one will disagree with me that a lot happened in 2020, from the global pandemic to different social injustice and advocacy movements. A lot happened, and that meant that brands and founders and communications professionals had to figure out how to communicate and maneuver with it all. So I want to give you something that 2020 taught us and is already really important in 2021 that needs to be on your radar. That is social listening and news monitoring. It is absolutely paramount that you are actively listening to the public sentiment, or at least your key public sentiment. Now, what do I mean? What I mean is the opinions, how people are reacting, and the overall concept of reading the room. So, how do we social listen and news monitor? I'm going to give you 4 ways. Number 1, good thing about 2021 is there are a lot of softwares on the market. A few you can check out is SEMrush, there's Sprout Social, HubSpot. There are a lot out there. Simply Google social listening platforms. Some of them are more expensive than others. I encourage you to do a little bit of research, but those are softwares that can help you listen to not only what's going on and what's coming up about your brand, but also what's going on in the world. Now, if you don't want to invest in a software, another great resource is Google. Specifically, head to the News tab and search via key events and keywords. If there are active topics or conversations you want to stay on top of, you can also set up Google alerts or Talkwater alerts. You can set the frequency of how often those will be delivered to your inbox. So Google is free and it's a great place. Make sure you're going to the News tab, and you can filter even by time, right? Once you go into articles, it's also worth checking what the tone of the media is and if they're receiving comments from the public. Of all the social media platforms out there, one of them equals way number 3 that I prefer to social listen, and I think a lot of other publicists and journalists would agree. That is Twitter. Twitter does a great job of telling us what is trending, what news is trending, what hashtags are trending. It allows us to also filter via top, so what's getting the most interaction, and also by recent, right? So this is a great place to head, especially for breaking news, to figure out how people are reactive, what's going on. It's a lot quicker to tweet than to publish an article, so I actually always head to Twitter first. The 4th way that I want to highlight that you should and or could be social listening and news monitoring is by looking at what your competitors are doing. Look at what your competitors are saying, and then furthermore, how are people reacting to that? There's usually never going to be a 100% agreement on a positive or negative reaction to how a brand responds, but you, from a communication standpoint, can look at your competitors if they've gone before you and start to get an idea of what is and isn't working. Now, this is not to say that you should be following other people's opinions. These are all tools that can help you understand the sentiment of your key publics so that you can better address what they're worried about and communicate in an efficient way. There's one more thing I want to highlight before I let you guys go. Before you pitch an outlet, before you pitch a writer, read the room. See what they're actively writing about. Look at their Twitter. See how they feel about a certain topic before you blindly pitch them. So to wrap things up, one of the most important things that you should be actively doing this year is social listening and news monitoring. If you have any questions, at all, I encourage you to reach out. My Instagram is at @theprbar_inc. My website is theprbarinc.com. You can email me at lexie@theprbarinc.com. I do offer free consultations, but if you have a question about anything that I said, I encourage you to reach out. Also, just wanted to point you to my podcast, Pitchin and Sippin, if you want more free PR advice. Bye.